Hello everyone. In the last class, we just have a brief introduction about the data interpretation, and we saw that what are the possible graphs and the possible ways of asking such question in the actual exam. Today we will have some practice and we will see that how such graph question could be asked, and let's proceed further. So let's start with the pie chart. Again, as we discussed in the strategies, whenever we see such question, we will try to get an idea about such question in first 10 to 15 seconds. So this is a pie chart which shows the income and expenditure for some year X, and the total amount for this is 60 million and for this is 60 million. And we discussed that whenever we see such values, straightforward convert this into 1% and 10%. So what will be 1% of this? If we divide this by 100, so 1% it will be 0.6, and what is a 10% if we divide this by 10? So 10% will be equal to 6 million. Both of these are million, right? And likewise for this as well, 1% is equal to 0.6 and 10% is equal to 6 million. So that's all we need to know. Now let's move further. So this is the first question that asks approximately, and this shows that the question asks for approximation. How many of the agency's income, so asking about this, was provided by contributed commodities. So we are asked to find what exactly this value is in million, is in actual amount. So we know that what, and again this is approximation, so we can convert this 19.5 to 20%, because all of these values are in integer form. So what is 20%? We know already find a 10%. 10% is 6, so 20% will be 12 million, right? So the closest answer to this is option A. So the takeaway is, in such question asking for approximation, first of all see the options, and just like in this, the options are all of the integers, so it is better to just approximate this into 20% and take 20% of 60, and we already convert this into 1% and 10%. 10% is 6, so 20% will be twice of that, so that is equal to 12 million. So that's why the answer is A. Now let's move and just shown the answer is A. Now the next one is, of the following, the categories that had expenditure most nearly equal to average mean expenditure per category was. Now asking about the expenditure. Okay. Now we want to see which of the following category in expenditure has almost value equal to the average of all of these. Now we know that all of these must equal to 100%. So what is the average? Average will be equal to 100%, because I want all of these, because all of these are in percentage form, so better keep this into percent. So total is 100%. How many values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 value, that means approximately the average is 10%. Now see the option, we have provided this 5. So which are the following closest to 10%? That will be our required answer, and the closest to that is 10.1%. That's why the answer is new investment, which is option D. This is an interesting question, and we will see how can we solve such question very quickly. So this is in year X, 1/3 of agencies refugee housing expenditure. Okay, now asking for expenditure, and first of all we need to find 1/3 of which thing? Agency refugee housing expenditure. This one, which is 12.4. So it is better to approximate this into 12%, and so 1/3 of 12%. Now next thing is 1/4 of its commodities expenditure. So what is that? That is 19.5%. So just convert this into approximate value, which is 20%. So that is 1/4 of 20%. Now next thing is 2/3 of its post-disaster assistance expenditure. That is 13.1. So better to approximate this into 12%. So this will be 2/3 of 12%, and this will be equal to 4% plus 5%, and yeah, we missed one. 1/5 of its emergency worker expenditure, and that is 1/5, and approximate this to 20%. 1/5 of 20%. So this is 5% plus 3 into 4, 8%, and plus 4%. So this will be around 21%. So we already know that 10% of this equals to how much? Equal to 6. So we know this is 20% plus 1%. So what is 20%? That is 2 into 10%, which is 6, and 1% is around 0.6. So this will be 12.6, 12.06, 12.6, right? So the closest option to this is option E. Now let's move to another graph. Again, this is a pie chart, and we will just take 10 to 15 seconds to get an understanding about this graph. So this is length of unemployment for worker in region X for two industries. Okay. So manufacturing industry and service industry, and this is 10 million and 8 million. So just find the 1% and 10%, and for this 1% and 10%. So what is a 1%? That is 0.1, and 10% is 1 million, and 1% is 0.8, and 10% is 1% is 0.08, and 10% is 0.8, right? And remember, in such questions, whenever you are given a note, read that note very carefully. The circle graph shows the distribution of workers who are unemployed for at least 1 week in 2003 by length of employment. So these are length of employments, and for person which are unemployed for at least 1 week in year 2003. Okay. Now let's solve the first question. The question says, which of the following could be the median length of unemployment in weeks for manufacturing industry workers who are unemployed at least 1 week? Okay, this is a very interesting question. Usually there are two type of median questions. Just like in one questions, we have the, if we talk about, for example, just like in this scenario, we have 1 to 4 week, then 5 to 10 week, then this is 11 to 14 week, 15 to 25 week, and 26 plus week. So we can arrange these in the order. This is first one, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and this is 5. And we know the percentage of each of these. This is 40%, this is 20%, this is 10%, this is 18%, and this is 12%, and all of these sum to 100. Now we have a category to arrange this in order, but in other type of median questions, just like this, for example, we have a country names starting with, for example, America, Pakistan, Canada, and up to so on with no percentage, 12%, 5%, 25%, up to so on. In this scenario, we can't arrange these in order in the basis of this country names. So for that, we need to arrange this in the order of the percentages. So if I ask to find the median of this, so for that I need to arrange this in percentage order. So minimum is 5%, next one is 12%, and third one is 25%. So the median for this is 12%, which is for this country. But in this category, we can arrange this in order of the length of weeks, right? So this is already arranged. Now exactly what is the median? Median divides the data sets into equal parts, 50% on each side, and just like this, these are the percentages. We need to find the cumulative of this. So this is 40, 40 plus 20 is 60, 60 plus 10 is 70, this is 88%, and this is 100%. So that's mean, as this is already arranged, so the median, which is a 50% of this, must lie somewhere in this range, which is 5 to 10 week. So that's why we will see the option whichever lies from 5 to 10, and that is option B, 8 weeks, right? Okay. Now let's move further. The question is the ratio of the number of manufacturing industry workers, okay, who are unemployed for 5 to 10 weeks. So what are those? Those are 20% of 10. So we know what is 10%? 1. So 20% of 10 is equal to how much? That is equal to 2. And the other thing is number of service industry workers who are unemployed for 5 to 10 weeks, and that is 16% of this 8. So we know what is 10%, that is 0.8. This is 10%. What is 5%? That is half of this, which is 0.4. And what is 1%? That is 0.08. If we add all of this, this will become 16%. So what is that? That is 1.28, right? So the question asks for the ratio of this. So this will be 2 by 1.28. And again, this is question asks for approximation. So we need to see the closest option to this. You can use a calculator, but try to solve this without the calculator a bit logically. So the thing is, if I take the half of 1.28, that will be something around 0.64. If I add in this, that is still less than 2. That's mean this value 2 is more than, so the answer to this is more than 1.5, right? So just see the option now. First one, 5 by 4, 5 divided by 4 is how much? It is 1.25. No, there's a greater difference, so this is not possible. 6 by 5, again this is not possible. This is yeah, not possible. This is 1.2. Next is 3 by 2, which is around 1.5. This is very much close to this. Now next thing is 5 by 2, which is 2.5. Again not possible. And last is 7 by 6. This is again not possible. So only possible answer is option C, which is 3 by 2. This is pretty much common type of question in which you ask to find the angle of a sector in the pie charts. Just like in this question, in the circle graph, the degree measure of a certain central angle, asking about this angle of the sector representing the number of workers unemployed for 10 to 14 weeks is how much greater in manufacturing industry graph than in the service industry. So we know that the total angle in a circle in degrees 360 degrees, and this whole is already divided into 100%. So that's mean this will be 10% of 360, which is equal to 36, and this will be 5% of 360, which is the half of this, and that is equal to 18. The question asks for a difference of this, so that will be 36 minus 18, which is equal to 18. That's why the answer to this is option D. Okay, so this question said that if one of the workers in the manufacturing and service industry who are unemployed for at least 1 week, as a note says all of these are unemployed for at least 1 week, so the total sample size, that will be 10 plus 8, which is 18 million. The next thing is we need to choose the question is what is the probability that the person selected will be from service industry. So we need to choose from this who was unemployed for 26 weeks or more. So what is that? That is 9%. So what is the 9% of 8 million? 9% of 8 million. So we can do this way. What is 10%? 0.8. What is 1%? That is 0.08. Subtract this, you will get 0.72. So our favorable outcome is 0.72. Our total outcome is 18. So probability will be equal to 0.72 divided by 18, and just solve this, and you will get option A as the required answer. Okay, now this is a Gantt chart, and this is a very rare type of question of a data interpretation, and often time very confusing as well. So let's talk about this. This shows a variation in the amount of caffeine in common beverages and drugs. So we have three categories, and which is further divided into some categories. And very important thing, just read this. Based on 5 ounces cup of coffee, tea, and cocoa, and so some are 5 ounces cup, and remaining are 12 ounces cup of soft drinks and single dose of drugs. So this is very important thing, like 5 ounces and 12 ounces, which will be used in the question, and ETS often traps based on this, that you just miss this thing and the question asks for example 10 ounces, and you consider the same which is given in the question, which is wrong, right? So let's see the first one. The least amount of caffeine in a 5-ounce cup of drip brewed coffee, okay, and this is 5 ounces, right? To asking about this, exceed, okay, the what is the, and you see this is 25, so minimum of this will be something around 60. I'm just approximating, this is 60. And the greatest amount of caffeine in 5-ounce cup of cocoa, so what is that? Again this is 25, so that will be something around 20. So the question asks approximate difference between these two. So what is the difference? 60 minus 20, which is 40. So that's why the answer to this is option D. Okay. Now let's move further. For how many of the 11 categories of the beverages and drugs listed in the graph can the amount of caffeine in the given serving size be less than 50 milligram? We need to figure out such categories in which we could have a serving size less than 50 milligram. And as you already know, each of these bars shows the minimum and maximum value. So any of the bar which is on the left side of the 50, that's mean that that could have less than 50 milligram. So first of all, yes, this could have less than 50. Again, this minimum is less than 50, again possible. For this not possible because its minimum is greater than 50. Possible for this, possible for this, possible, and yeah, not possible because this is minimum greater than 50, possible and possible. So in short, there are 9 categories out of 11 that have serving size less than 50 milligrams. Okay, now let's move further. The question states that approximately what is the minimum amount of caffeine in milligrams consumed per day by a person who daily drinks 10 ounces mug of percolated coffee. Now here the trick. Question asks for 10 ounces to 10 ounces. But in actual we are given 5 ounces. So if we see the drip brewed coffee, and the question asks for the minimum amount, right? So what is the minimum amount of this? That will be something around here, and not this one. Oh yeah, this one, sorry, I got this wrong. Yeah, for this one, and this is approximately 40. And if this is 40 and this is for the 5-ounce cup, but the question asks for 2 10-ounce cup, 10-ounce mug, right? So that in that scenario, if this is for the 5 ounce, what will be for the 10 ounce? That will be twice of this, and for this is 40. So that's mean 2 into 40 is equal to 80 for 1/10 ounce mug, and we are asked for the 2 10-ounce mugs, so that will be 2 into 80, which is equal to 160. So for the first, this is 160 milligrams, and for the next one, and 1 12-ounce cup of caffeinated soft drinks. So we are already provided with the 12 ounces. So 12 ounces cup of caffeinated soft drink. So what is the minimum of this? That will be something around 30. I'm just approximating. So this is around 30, and this is already in 12 ounces. We need only one, so that will be 1 into 30, which is 30. Now just add both of these. That will be 160 plus 30, which is 190, and approximately this is equal to option B. And remember one thing, in case of approximation, just like in this, our values are very much far apart. So we have a huge margin for the approximation. But if our values are, for example, very much close, 230, 220, 205, 210, values are very much close. So in that scenario, in order to approximate, that will be a bit difficult. But just like in this scenario, it is very much easy to approximate, right? Okay, that is option B. Now let's talk about another Gantt chart. This is again following the same concept which we discussed in the earlier Gantt chart. And again, we'll just take 10 to 15 seconds to get an idea. So this is a variation in number of calories burned per hour. So these are some categories, and this shows the number of calories burned per hour with a minimum and maximum for each of these. Now let's see the very important thing, the note. The note is based on the body weight of exercise. The lower limit represents the calories burned by a person weighing 130. So lower category of each is for 130 pounds and upper category is for 205 pounds. That's all we need to know for time being. Now let's move to the question now. Okay, very a big question. Okay, let's see. Which of the following statement could be true? Now the question asks for could be true, right? Okay, now let's see. And remember, there is a difference between could be and must be. So in could be type question, if one situation is possible as ever required, so that option is possible. But in case of must, all of the condition must be fulfilled so that we can prove that option is true. Let's see the first one. A person weighing between 130 and 205 pounds, so asking for this range, minimum 130, maximum 205 pounds, perform one of the above activities for 10 hours, yet burns fewer calories than another person in the same weight range performing another activity for 1 hour. So we will just need one scenario to prove this, right? And that is very much simple. If I see the minimum, which is 130 of this typing, and just like this, if I take the 10 hour for this, so that will be, and again this is less than 100, I will write this as 100 minus. So because 10 hours, 10 into 100 minus, that is 1000 calories burned per hour, a bit less than 1000. And if I take another category for 1 hour, for example, if I take this one, this is a bit greater than 1000. So 1000, and this is for the 1 hour, so that value is a bit greater than 1000. And yeah, our condition is satisfied that this one category for 10 hours is less than one category for 1 hour in the same range, of 130 and 205. So this is possible. Now next one is very interesting. A 175 pound person playing GRE for 1 hour burns fewer calories than a 180 pound person swimming the butterfly stroke for 1 hour. There is one other thing you need to remember in this. This chart, this bar shows the minimum and maximum. This is minimum and maximum. Minimum is for the 130 pounds and maximum is for the 205 pounds. We don't know exactly what distribution is following, and there could be a scenario that we have all of these distribution 130, 131, 132 up to 205. So a linear sort of distribution, in that we can find the middle of this, just like if the minimum is 130, maximum is 205. So I take the average and find the middle one that will exactly lie in the middle of this. But we exactly don't know about this distribution. We only know the minimum and maximum. So just like in this question asks for 175 pound of this. So if this is 130, this is 205, so 175 must be in the middle if this is linear. But we don't know about distribution, so that could be exactly on the middle, left side of the middle, or on the right side of middle. We don't know about that. Likewise, if we talk about the swimming, and question asks for the 180 pounds, but if we assume this at linear, so in that scenario we can say that the its 180 will be somewhere on the right of the middle, and in that scenario that could be greater than this one. But if this is non-linear, we can't say anything. So that's why, based on only the linear scenario, this could be there could be a condition that 175 of this is less than 180 of this, 180 pound of this, right? But only takeaway is we don't know about the exact distribution, and this could be of any sort. Now let's see the last one. If all of the people in the question weigh between 130 and 205, perfect. The average calorie burned by one person playing table tennis for 1 hour. Okay, so person is playing table tennis for 1 hour is more than total calories burned by people tapping for 3 hours. So first one is that one person is playing table tennis for 1 hour. Okay, so one person. So in this question, this is open-ended question. So I will try to come up with the minimum scenario to prove this wrong. How can I do that? So if I take the maximum of this table tennis, so what is that? That will be something around 354. Let's make this at 375. So this is a maximum possible value of the number of calories burned by person who just do this for 1 hour, play table tennis for 1 hour, right? So for this one person, this is 375. And the next scenario is two persons playing for 3 hours, typing for 3 hours. So I will try to prove this wrong by taking the minimum value of this. If minimum of this is greater than maximum of other, so I can prove this wrong. So what is the minimum of this? That is around less than 100. So if I take, for example, right this way, less than 100 for 1 hour, question asks for 3 hours, and there are two people trying. So this will be 6 into 100, so that will be 600. A bit less than 600, but that value is very much greater than 375. That's why this condition is not possible, because the question in this is that one person playing table tennis for 1 hour uh, burning more calories than the two person playing typing for 3 hours. I prove this wrong by taking the extreme. I take the maximum of this and minimum of this and prove this wrong, so that if I even increase the value of this, that will again greater than 375. That's why the only possible options are option A and option B. Okay, now let's talk about this question. Which of the following, which combination of the activities burn the fewest calories in total? So let's talk about this. And this again involves the visualization. So let's see each of these options separately. So let's talk about the first one. 130 pounds person playing badminton. So where is the badminton? Badminton, yeah. The 130, which is the least of this, it's somewhere around this. So let's make this 260. And 205 a person table tennis. So table tennis 205 is around 375. So 260 plus 375. So that will be around 635, right? 513, yeah. Now let's see the other option. 130-pound person wrestling for 1 hour. Okay, so wrestling for 1 hour. So that is 350 for this 130, and 205-pound person running track and field for 1 hour. So that will be track and field, that is 205. That value is very much greater. So don't need to use that. That is somewhere greater than 900. So 900 plus this is greater than 1000. But you're asked to find the minimum. So again, this is not possible. This is very much greater. Let's see the next one. 130-pound person typing for 1 hour. So 1 hour, for example, is approximate less than 100, very much close. And 205% swimming the butterfly stroke for 1 hour, and that is 205. Again, this is greater than 1000, so this value exceeds this first value. So again, both of these are not possible. Now see the last one, next one. A 130-pound person sailing in a competition for 1 hour. Okay, so that will be something closer to 300. So approximate this to 300. And 305-pound person doing acrobats for 1 hour, that is something closer to 600. And again, this will exceed first one. This is not possible. Now let's see the last one. A 130-pound person tapping for 1 hour, that is something 1000, one less than 100. And 205% playing croquet for 1 hour. So that will be 150. Yeah, this will be lowest. 150 plus 100, that will be 250, a bit less than 250. That's why the possible option is option E. Now let's move to this question. This question shows the percent in change in usage of operating system iOS from 2001 to 2008. And what exactly meant by this 10%? This means at the start of 2001 and at the end of 2001 there is 10% increase. So at the end of 2001, that is exactly same as the start of 2002, right? That exactly we need to know till now. Now let's move further. Okay, if at the start of 2004, that's mean we are at this point, 595,000 users were using iOS, at was the approximately number of user, this what was the approximate number of users of iOS at the start of 2006? So that's mean we are given at the start of 2004, and that is 595,000. As answer is 1000, so we can ignore this. We just for timing consider 595. So what will be that at the end of 2004, or we can say that at the start of 2005? So that will be the 5% decrease, and the next one will be at the end of 2005 or at the start of 2006. There will be 5% increase. So the question asked at the start of 2006, right? So I show a shortcut way in the percentage concept, which you can see in that portion, that whenever we see the consecutive increase and decrease, just like in this we have two category. First one is percentage increase and then one is decrease, and we need to see what is the actual change in percentage at the end of that. So for example, if first one there is a percentage change of A and then is a percentage change of B, so if I ask to find the percentage change in total, so that will be A plus B plus AB by 100. So if both of these are percentage increase, so this will be positive, positive and positive. Now second, if one is increase and one is decrease, so that will be, for example, A is increasing, B is decreasing, so this will be something like this. So now if A decrease and B increase, so that will be minus A plus B minus AB over 100. And last scenario, if both of these are decreasing, so that will be minus A minus B plus AB by 100. Just like in this scenario, there is a first percentage decrease of 5% and then percentage increase of 5%. Remember one thing, that if there is a percentage decrease and increase of same value in a consecutive percentage increase and decrease in same value, the value will not remain same because the base value of which you are taking the percentage actually changes. So in this scenario, considering this one, that considering A as minus 5 and B as 5, so what is the percentage change? That will be minus 5 plus minus 5 into 5 by 100. So this will cancel out and this will be minus 25 by 100. So that will be minus 0.25 percentage. So in this scenario, this is value at the start of 2004 and the final value at the start of 2006 will be 0.25% less than the actual value. So just take the 99.75% of this value 595 and you will get the required answer, which is very much close to 593. That's why the answer to this is option A. And it is up to you. You can remember this or you can simply use the sum value. For example, if I take the initial value is 100 and if I decrease the 5%, that will be 95, and if I increase the 5%, that will be again less than 100. So it's up to you, and this formula is actually helpful in such scenario. Okay, let's move further. Okay, what was the total percent change in number of users of operating system iOS from the start of 2001 to the start of 2004? From start of 2001 to start of 2004. Okay, so 10% increase, 5% increase, 0% change, and because we are asked to find at the start of 2004, so we will not consider 5% decrease. So first, you can solve this by the formula or by the assuming some value. For example, if I consider the value at the start of 2001, that is equal to 100. So at the end of 2001, that will be 10% increase, which is 110. Now that will be at the start of 2002. Now again at the end of 2002, there will be 5% increase, right? So what will be that value? That will be 110 into 5% increase, it will be 1.05, and that will be you can solve this. Just take the 10%, which is 11, and now what is the 5%? That is half of that, that is 5.5. So 110 plus 5.5, which is equal to 15.5, 115.5. Now after that there is no change, so same value will move from here to here, from here to start of 2004. So our value at the end of that is 115.5, and at start that is 100. So there is a percentage change of how much? 15.5, and initial value was 100, so that is 15.5%. That's why the answer to this is option C, right? You can also do this by the formula. So first of all, we are considering these two. So how can we do this? A is equal to 10, B is equal to 5. So A into B, it is 50 divided by 100. So this is equal to 15 plus 0.5, which is 15.5%. Now we have 15.5% here, and this is 0%. So 15.5, now consider 15.5 A and 0 as B. So 15.5 plus 0 over 100. So again this is equal to 15.5%. So our required answer is 15.5%. It's up to you. You can use the formula or you can use the simple values to get to your point. But remember, this formula holds for only two. If you have more option, first do for first two, then you get the value of percentage change, then use and then proceed further with the next one. You can't use this for more than 2. Okay. Again, this is an interesting question. Which of the following statement can be inferred from the given graph? First, let's see the first one. Number of users at the start of 2002 was same as the number of users at the end of 2004. And this is straightforward wrong, because we discussed earlier that if you are just to again give you an idea, I have 100 at the start. If I increase the 5%, this will become 0.5. Now if I decrease the 5%, that is not actually of this, but that is of this 105. So that means the final result will not be equal to 100. Likewise, at the start of 2002, I have some value and there is a 5% increase. Now for 2003 there is no increase or decrease. For 2004 at the end we need to decrease 5%, but now that for decrease I am not using the actual value but the percentage change value which I get at the end of year 2002. That's why this is not possible. Let's see the next one. Total percentage increase in the number of users of iOS from the start of 2005 to the end of 2006. Okay, start of 2005 to the end of 2006. So this is a 5% and 10%. Simply use the formula 5% plus 5 plus 10 plus 5 into 10 divided by 100. So this will be equal to 15 plus 0.5, which is 15.5%. So percentage change from start of 2005 to the end of 2006 is equal to 15.5%, and this was greater than percentage increase in iOS user of 2007. And for 2007 we have iOS user percentage increases 15% and our earlier was 15.5. That's why this can be inferred from the graph. Now let's move to the last one. From starting of 2001 to the end of 2008, number of iOS users were maximum at the end of 2007. The question says that we have maximum users at the end of 2007 or at the start of 2008, but that is wrong, because at the end of 2008 there is again increase of 5%. That's mean whatever the user, for example I have 100 in this place, so after this at the start of 2008 I have 100, but now at the end of 2008 that will become 105. So don't get confused just by seeing this bar of the greatest length. All of these are percentage increase, above one are percentage increase. So if this is 100 and this again 5%, this will become 105. That's why again this is not possible. So only possible option is option B, which is our required answer. Okay, let's move to another type of question. And in this question we are given a profile of Congress in year X and total members are 535, and we have 6 categories: one, party, sex, age, religion, profession, and ethnic group. And all of these are divided into 2 parts. One is for House of Representative and one for the Senate. So total for this is 435 and for this is 100. So that's make up to 535, and that's all we need to know for time being. Now let's see in the Senate. So asking about this thing, if 25 males were replaced by 25 females. Okay, so that's mean we have males 100 and females 0. Now we are replacing 25 males by females, so we are reducing this by 25 and increasing this by 25. So this will be 75 and this will be 25. The question asks the ratio of the male to the female, the new ratio. That will be 75 by 25, which is equal to 3:1, which is option B. Okay. Now let's talk about this. Approximately what percent of the members of the Congress are lawyers? So talking about the total Congress members, those are lawyers because 215 are from the House of Representatives and 63 are from the Senate, right? So total we have Congress members, how many? 535, and the lawyers in these are 215 plus 63, and this will become 278. And this asks about the percentage out of total, so 278 over 535 into 100, and this will give you the required answer, and that will be the option D, right? Just add this 215 and 63 and divide this by total 535, you will get the required answer, which is 52. And remember one thing, when you see the percentage question, always see what is the base. In this scenario, our base is the total Congress member, not the House of Representative or not the Senate. The question could trap you just by changing the statement that approximately what percent of the House of Representative members or what percent of the total Senate members are lawyers or are business executives, right? Okay. Now let's talk about this, that if 5 senators, asking about these senators, are Catholic Democrats, so we are considering two things. One is democratic and one is the Catholic. So the question asks how many senators are neither both of these, Catholic or democratic. This is actually a Venn diagram question. In the question we are provided that 5 are Catholic Democrats, so 5 are both. So actually this is for the Democrat, I represent this by D, and this is for the Catholic, I represent by C, and this is for the both. And I know both are how much? Both are 5, and total Democrats are 62 and total Catholic are 12. So what will be this? Actually I will discuss in detail of this Venn diagram. You can, if you have any doubt, you can move to there. But this is only Catholic, that will be 12 minus 5, which is equal to 7. And this will be only Democrat, this will be 62 minus 5, which is equal to 57. And so these are those members which are either Democrats or Catholic or both. So those are 57 plus 7 plus 5, right? And but the question asks for which are neither of these, right? So how can I do that? I know the actual total Senate members are equal to 100. So I need to subtract these from 100, and I will get the required answer, which is 31. So there are 31 members, members in the Senate, which are neither Democratic nor Catholic. Okay, this is to be a bit tricky question, and we need to think about. And if the lawyers and all the women in the House of Representatives vote for the passage of bill. Now asking about this House of Representatives, and in this all of the women, females, which are 17 females, and the other one is lawyers, which is 215, voted for the bill. How many more votes will be needed for the majority? So actually, what is a majority? By majority, it's mean that we have value which is more than half. So in total, if this is 435, so what will be majority minimum value for the majority of this? That will be something a bit greater than half, right? So what is that value? That value will be around a bit more than half of this, 435, and that will be 218, because 218 are more than uh, half of this. So for majority they needs at least 218 votes overall. Now the votes, earlier they get votes for females and lawyers. Now there could be two categories. Let's see the two categories. First of all, let's talk about this first category, in which no female is lawyer. That's mean if the females and the lawyer votes, so that's mean from female they get 17 and from lawyer they get 215, and these sums greater than 218. So that's mean in this scenario they need 0 votes further to get the majority, because they're already in majority. This is first scenario. Now let's talk about the second scenario. Second scenario is if all females are also lawyers. So that's mean this is a Venn diagram question with in which if this circle represents the lawyers, so in that there is our females, which are 17 females, and those are inside the lawyer. That's mean all of the females are the lawyers, right? So if they vote, they get a maximum vote of 215, which is in total less than the required vote for the majority, which is 3 less than. So in that scenario, that they need 3 more votes, right? So based on the situation, we can't tell what is the actual number of votes they need, because there could be multiple scenarios. In one scenario, I just took the two extremes, in which all of the females are the lawyers, and in which none of the female is the lawyer. So we have two extreme scenarios, and there could be a scenario in between as well. So that's why the actual answer to this is option E, which is it cannot be determined from the information provided with. That's why the answer to this is option E. So whenever you see such questions, just think a bit and see all of the possible scenarios which are possible.